Right, so I want to take a few moments and show you something. I've set up a small experiment. What I've got here is a piece of M12 threaded bar resting on a bit of plastic to make sure that it's insulated. And at the end here I have a magnet, a little ring magnet, and I've connected my voltmeter to the ring magnet, so we're going through the magnet and then through the bar. And I've got the meter reading here. Now you can see that there's very little going on there. I mean, it's got 48 millivolts or so. I've got the other end of the meter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to earth it. And I've earthed it just by pressing it on this steel table, which goes to earth. And you can see, suddenly we've got half a volt. Isn't that awesome? Now we can get, now take it off, goes away, put it back, and we get half a volt again. So we can get half a volt out of a magnet and a steel rod, no problem at all. And we can improve that easily by using a larger steel rod, or maybe some copper wire, or maybe some aluminium sheet, and we attach it with a magnet and we'll get a voltage. Now, doesn't that look amazing? And it is amazing, but it does make you think what is actually happening, because I see this stuff all of the time. I see coil arrangements, magnet arrangements, I see them earthed, I see them reading the voltage, and they'll say, here we go, we've got a generator. I guess yes, you do, because you will get a few microamps out of that, 100%, because what that is, it's nothing to do with the magnet. The magnet's a neodymium nickel-coated magnet that's making a contact with the bar. What it's picking up is the ambient EMF, so we have a whole load of radiation around us. This is effectively an antenna. I'd get the same thing without the magnet, because it's picking that EMF up. Now I'm inside a building, and this building has an electrical supply. You can see it right there. And that's going at 50 hertz, so it's giving out EMF. And of course I've put this quite close to that wire deliberately, okay, because the EMF is being picked up in this, and we're reading a radio signal. It's exactly how crystal radios work. We will get micro generation out of this, but what you get read to you on these videos are the volts, and everybody tells you about the volts, and the volts are important. But when you think about generation, you need the volts and the amps together to give you an idea how much power is being put out. But the bulk of these things always demonstrate voltage. They hardly ever demonstrate it lighting a light, spinning a motor, having a look at what the amps are. And any arrangement of this will do it. And when you watch certain kinds of videos, you see a variety of this kind of arrangement. There's also something else that happens, which is kind of cool. If I don't earth this, if I just hold it, you see the voltage go up to 3 volts, and that's because I'm now the earth, because we are conductive, remember, and we're very resistive, but we are conductive, so I can operate as a distributed earth. So if I accidentally touch this, there we go, or if I hold this on something, I will earth it, and we'll get a reading. So even if I wave this in the air, oops, I've lost my connection. Actually, it's because I'm holding it. I need something to insulate me from it. There we go. Now I'm insulated from the rod, waving it in the air, and we're getting a voltage reading because it's still an antenna and I'm the earth. So you see a whole lot of these things being done as displays of free energy on YouTube videos. So why bother showing you something like that? Well, what I really want to demonstrate is how easy it is to show you something that is apparently strange. I mean, it's a bit like a magic trick. It all depends on your view of it, to how you see that strangeness. Now, that little thing there I showed you is just picking up ambient EMF, and there's loads of ways of organising something that in 5 minutes or so can show an apparent astounding effect. It's easy to do. And I did it because I was asked to look at a particular chap. His name is Nigel Cheese. He's also gone by the name of Nigel Hands, and he's gone by Nigel Cooper. And if you want his website, his LinkedIn, it's Nigel Cheese Knee Hands Knee Cooper, something like that. Anyway, I was asked to look at this because something has come out in the last few days called the PCAMs. Now, I don't really remember it. I think it's Photonic Catalytic Amplification machine, something like that. It's got a beautiful sounding name anyway. Now the problem with me looking at things is, what the hell do I know? I mean, I don't know that much about this stuff really, or about what that guy is doing. And I did bother to watch the 45-minute long video that he did, which was full of opinion and a little scarce on detail. So it's extremely difficult to be able to say whether what the guy is doing is genuine or not. And of course you find that with a lot of these things, it is quite difficult to see if they're actually being genuine. There's two levels at genuine. There's a person who is genuinely believes they're doing something and will do it with their full heart and full effort, and that's okay by me. And then there's somebody who's basically just genuinely trying to get money out of you. When it is something that there is insufficient information to be able to make a judgment, which is the case with Mr. Cheese, then I tend to look around at it to give some kind of validity to what it is that he's actually doing, or in the person themselves, because that will help make a judgment about what this thing is. Because like lots of people, of course, I hope for a solution to the energy crisis. I wish some of this were true. But there's a big difference between wishing for something and having something. I mean, I can wish for $1 million all day long, but I don't necessarily get or have $1 million. So there's a big difference between the two. And in order to assess something like that, where there isn't that much information, you have to look at what surrounds it, really. And that means looking a little deeper at the chap and looking a little deeper at the way he's presenting it. Now, to my mind, I don't think it's presented particularly convincingly. I mean, he does hit on all the topics that we are interested in, you know, save the planet, worry about the children, and he does highlight on the fears that we've got. Banks are bad, capitalism is evil, present for humanity, that sort of stuff. So he certainly hits the key points, but I think he hits them a little aggressively, to be genuine to my mind. There's something too aggressive about it that makes me think, hang on a second, I want to know more about this chap. Now, if you look under Nigel Cheese, you actually won't find that much. You'll only just find that video until you dig a little deeper under Nigel Cheese Cooper Hands, and then you find a history to the chap. Well, I don't think his history does him any favours, let's put it that way. That there's something about it that makes you think, maybe this guy is as mad as a bag of kittens about to be thrown into a canal, or maybe he has had an awful lot of problems in his life, but he certainly doesn't come across particularly well, I would say. Now, his invention, well, I certainly would like more detail about it in order to make an assessment of it. And he says it's a gift to humanity, and then the very next breath he asks you to invest in him. And of course, asking somebody to invest based on that really makes me wonder, and it certainly would be a big red flag. I mean, if you're making extraordinary claims, and let's face it, this is an extraordinary claim, then as has been quoted to me, and as I believe as well, you need extraordinary proofs. We need something more than a 45-minute video rant to give us proof that the guy is actually genuine. Now, I'm not saying that because, you know, I don't believe what the guy is doing. I'm saying that because it's just common sense. If somebody is making an extraordinary claim and asking you for money, well, you want proof of what that is. And if the proof can't be provided, it's just a few photographs and a few charts and please trust my word sort of stuff, then, you know, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think, you know, there's plenty of people who talk about things I know nothing about and I have to take their word. None of that's a problem to me. But if they then ask me to give them money, then the chances are I'm not going to, because for me, there's just not enough proof there, and I certainly don't hand out money because I don't have any. So if you're a little short and you've been asked for money and you've been given no proof that there's actually a reason you should give this money apart from please trust me, then I would really strongly recommend you don't, because there's other things to spend your money on. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust what the guy is saying, because I don't know if what the guy is saying is true or not. What I'm saying is, if somebody's asking you for money, ask for proof. It seems reasonable, really. I mean, we have a lot of protection when we're just buying things at the store. If it's broken or not fit for purpose, you can get your money back, and rightly so. So if somebody's asking you for something like that, then you really need to ask them for better proof than perhaps a 45-minute video rant is. I mean, he does have a history of experimentation. I did look at some of the earlier videos that he's been doing as well, and to be honest, from what I saw, it didn't look that much different from what I did in the beginning of this video, so I certainly would be a little more circumspect before I opened my checkbook. He does claim that he's got a lot of haters, and maybe he has a fair bit of criticism, but I couldn't find many haters. I found some criticism on his earlier videos, but not anybody who was dressing him down particularly. So I'm not sure if that is correct or not, but that's what he says. This video, when you put in the title, it appears as a long list of very small YouTube channels. So, you know, 300, 500 subscribers, that kind of thing, and they've had a few hundred views. So it feels to me a bit like scattering the information around so it looks like it's coming from different sites, which is something quite a few people will do, actually, particularly traders. Traders do this when they want you to invest money in sham companies, and so it's yet another red flag that this has just appeared on a lot of very small sites, and it's the same video. And then finding more information about him is actually quite difficult unless you use that Cooper Hans cheese thing, and you can find a bit more about him. But as I say, I was asked to give a general overview of what I thought of this chap and his invention. And what I think really is, I don't know. I mean, I'm just some Joe working in a shed in Kent, so I don't really know. But if it were me, I certainly wouldn't be that interested in investing in him until I actually saw something working. So that may be a guide. I hope it answers the question that I was asked, and thank you very much for watching the video, and please remember to like and subscribe.